Okay, Violet, today we're going to be reading a story and we're going to be talking about some key details about the story. So we're going to look at first the main idea and then two key details. So, who has ever had the hiccups? Have you ever had the hiccups? No, you've never had the hiccups, Violet? Have you ever had the hiccups? Yes or no? Yes or no? Yeah. Okay. Yes, you have. All right. Okay. So today we are going to read a passage that is going to tell us what hiccups are and why they happen. Okay. So we're going to introduce this idea of hiccups, why they happen, and why our body does it. So I will read first. So today we're going to find the main idea of this story and what it mostly talks about, okay? And then we're going to find a couple of details. So the human body hiccups out of nowhere, in class, in the car, on the phone, watching television, at any moment. It can happen. Hiccup. The dreaded hiccup. Has anyone ever really found a cure for hiccups? Holding your breath, drinking water, standing on your head, or doing all three at the same time. Nothing ever works. Why do we even get hiccups? Hiccups are caused by muscle spasms. Oh, that's interesting. They're caused by muscle spasms. When you get hiccups, a muscle beneath your lungs starts contracting. It's behind your lungs. It rushes air into your lungs. After air rushes in, the sudden closing of the valve at the top of your lungs causes the hic sound. Luckily, hiccups don't last long, only a few minutes at most. I've heard, however, there was once a man who had the hiccups for 8 whole years. Can you imagine 8 years through work and sleep? I guess he could have used a good scare. That's a fun story. All right, so I'm going to ask myself, what was this passage mostly about? And I think that this passage was mostly about hiccups and mostly about how hiccups occur, what causes them, and then our last little paragraph told me that they don't really last very long. So, now we are going to talk about maybe where we got some of these details. So I'm going to go through our story and I want you to help me out. Do you see anywhere on here that might tell me what a hiccup is or hint to me how this passage is about hiccups? It says, out of nowhere, in class, in the car, on the phone, at any moment it can happen. The dreaded hiccup. Has anyone ever found a cure for hiccups? Holding your breath, drinking water, standing on your head, doing all three at the same time, nothing ever works. Why do we even get hiccups? Violet, that's kind of a little hint that's going to tell us that this is about hiccups, right? Do you agree or disagree? Agree or disagree? Agree? Hiccups are caused by muscle spasms. What are they caused by? Can you use your words?
Muscle spasms.
Muscle spasms. Good job. When you get the hiccups, a muscle beneath your lungs starts contracting. It rushes into your lungs. And after the air rushes in, the sudden closing of the valve at the top of your lungs, it's going to be somewhere up in here, causes the hic sound. Luckily, Hiccups don't last long, right? So now I have some choices for you. I have some main idea choices. I'm gonna read these to you, and you can point to the one that's correct, or you can say it. It's up to you. So A says, this passage is mostly about how to cure hiccups. B says, this passage is mostly about what hiccups are and why they happen. Or C, this passage is mostly about a man who had hiccups for 8 years. So what do you think is the correct one?
B.
B. The passage is mostly about what hiccups are and why they happen. You're right. Great job. Now we're going to look at a couple of details, okay? So I'm going to read off some options, and you can tell me what you think is a detail in our story, okay? There can be more than one detail. We're going to try to select 2, okay? So I'm going to read 4 different supporting details, and I want you to tell me which 2 you think are really important. 1. Hiccups are caused by muscle spasms. Do you think that that's a supporting detail? Yes or no? Yes, you're right. A muscle beneath your lungs starts contracting. Do you think that that's an important detail? Yes or no? No. The sudden closing of the valve causes the hic sound. No. Holding your breath always cures hiccups. The passage says nothing ever works. You think yes? So this one says holding your breath always cures hiccups. And then in parentheses, it kind of lets us know the passage says that nothing ever works. So if nothing ever works, do you think that holding your breath always works? No. Good job, Violet. So that means that we identified one detail. We might need to go back and look at some of our other details. So let's go back to our text. We have underlined a few things. So I'm just going to read us what we underlined as we were going through. We have, why do we even get hiccups? Hiccups are caused by muscle spasms. When you get the hiccups, a muscle beneath your lungs starts contracting. Okay, so let's go back to this. We definitely got 1. That's a good detail. Number 2, a muscle beneath your lungs starts contracting. Did we underline that? Oh, we didn't. But is that right here?
Yeah.
So what do you think? Is that a good detail? That's a detail. Let's read number 3. The sudden closing of the valve causes the hic sound. Did we circle that? The valve at the top of your lungs causes the hic sound. We circled hic. So do you think that's also a key detail?
Yeah.
Good job. All right, so those are some key details. Okay, so now we're going to use this, and you can point to what you believe is correct or not. We're going to do a quick check for understanding. So, Violet, yes or no, is this passage mostly about how to cure hiccups? Good job, you are right. Is this passage mostly about what hiccups are and why they happen? Correct. Awesome job. Do hiccups happen because of muscle spasms? Good job. High five. Crushing. Do hiccups usually last 8 years? No, they usually last what, like 5 minutes, right? What's the longest you've ever had hiccups?
Like 2 minutes.
Like 2 minutes. Good job. Awesome job. So today we learned about the main idea, and we learned that the main idea tells us what a passage is mostly about, right? Agree or disagree? Agree, yeah. So when we're looking at a main idea, we're looking at what the overall story tells us, right? And then we found we were trying for 2 key details, but you found 3 key details. So awesome job. All right. And lastly, what tells us what a passage is mostly about? Is that the main idea or the details?
The main ideas?
Yeah, it's the main idea. And can you point to one detail that we read about? Hiccups are caused by muscle spasms. Awesome job. Great job. So knowing the main idea helps us understand what we read. In our next lesson, we're going to use the main idea and the details to answer questions, and we're going to continue talking about main idea and details. All right, great job today.